Hello everybody, I'm here today to talk to you about conflict resolution. Now, what is conflict resolution? It seems like a little bit of a complicated word, but it's very simple when you break it down. See, conflict resolution is the way that you interact with others when you have a disagreement in something. Now, in our lives, we have a lot of arguments with people, and knowing how to handle these arguments and how to manage and resolve them is a skill that will help you in all areas of your life, because we talk to people in all areas of our lives and we may have disagreements with them. Now I'm here today to share with you 6 tips on conflict resolution that I have learned in dealing with people my whole life, as I'm sure you have as well. Now, step number 1, ditch the win-lose mentality. Now, what is the win-lose mentality? It is the idea that in an argument you have a winner and you have a loser. Now, it is generally thought that in arguments you have two people with different types of opinions, and one of them has to be right and one of them has to be wrong. And many people argue this way, thinking that I have to win and you have to lose. I'm right, you're wrong. This kind of mentality is toxic in your relationships and is not productive to really solving an argument in a productive and cooperative way. Now, step 2, anger will get you nowhere. Now, this can be hard to follow, especially in the heat of an argument where someone may have said things that hurt you or anger you. Now, this is very important to remain calm when you are arguing with someone, or even when you're trying to manage conflict after an argument, because if you argue while heated, you'll shout, you'll yell, you'll say things you don't mean, you'll fall into this win-lose mentality, and nothing will get solved. So it's important to stay calm, to stay rational, and if you feel like you're getting heated or angry and you cannot control your emotions, it's important to step back and take a deep breath and to find that calm and that rational mindset, and to only speak or argue, or well, not argue, but discuss the situation or the problem or the disagreement you have when you are in a calm headspace. It is important. Now, this doesn't mean to say that your feelings aren't important. If someone has hurt you, or if you feel a certain way about something, this is not to say that you should just say that you don't feel that way. Your feelings are valid, but you cannot let them take control of you, because that will not help anybody, especially the situation that you may be in with helping manage your conflicts. Now, step 3. This one can also be hard. Listen to understand, not to counter their point. What does this mean? This means that when the other person in this argument, in this disagreement, is speaking, to not make assumptions, and to listen, to try and understand how they feel, why they feel the way they do, and why they think the way they think, why they think what they think. Now, this can be difficult because we as people are biased. We think that our view is right, and it's hard to understand what the other person may be thinking or feeling, but this is incredibly important, and it's an incredibly important skill to be able to listen to someone, because you will never solve an argument or manage an argument well if you're only thinking about yourself. You must listen to the other person, you must try to understand them, have empathy for them, put yourself in their shoes. It's important to do this because you must understand their point as well as yours. And it is important not to make assumptions, especially about intentions. You cannot make an assumption about someone's intentions because you may not understand them or their intentions. Every person is different, and it's important to not make assumptions based on their actions or what they might have said of their true intentions, because many arguments are caused by simple miscommunication. And if you would listen to what they say, not make assumptions, and truly try to understand their point for what it is, or the entire situation for what it is, then it may become clear. Step 4. Humility goes a long way. Don't be afraid to say sorry. Now, we're all human beings. We all make mistakes. We all have our own perception. We may say things that we don't mean to say. We may not see things clearly because we as human beings are flawed. And just as they may be flawed, you are too. And it's important to keep this in mind, especially when listening to them, and to always keep in mind the possibility that you may have done something wrong. Now, they might have done something wrong too, but it takes two to play a game. And it takes two for an argument or disagreement or any kind of conflict to happen. And it's important to never forget that we are all humans. We are not perfect. And if you have done something wrong, realize it, admit it, say you're sorry. But of course, never assume that there's always one person who's wrong and one person who's right. They have likely done things wrong too, and it's important for them to realize that too. But it's just as important for you to realize what you may have done that is either wrong or just hurtful, and it's important to own up to your mistakes. Step 5. The way you speak matters. Present your argument in a non-confrontational way. Now, what does this mean? This means that when you are speaking to them about how you feel and what you think and your side of everything, it's important to keep in mind what you're conveying to them through not only your words, but your tone, your body language, even the way you word what you say. It's incredibly important because what you say is not is not the only thing that's important. It's incredibly important to think about how you say it. In an argument, the way you say something can make the difference between sounding like you're confrontational, like you're a threat, like you may have this win-lose mentality, and it may put the other person into defense mode, which we do not want because it's not productive. And the way we speak matters because we want to portray our message in a way that the other person will understand not only what you're saying, but how you want to say it. And you want the other person to be receptive to your ideas and your point. And it's important to say it in a way that will make them listen. That, not to force them to listen, of course, but in a way that doesn't make them feel like you're trying to impose your views onto them. Words are not only words, and when you speak with someone, it can make the difference between pointing a sword at them or offering a rose. Step 6. Work together to compromise. It's okay to agree to disagree. Now, the end goal should be compromise. You have a disagreement, you have an argument, you don't agree, you have a conflict where you're not getting along. Now, the solution is not always obvious, and the solution may not be either of what you think. It may be somewhere in between. It could be a compromise. And once you have discussed your points, your feelings, it's important for you to work together now to figure out the solution to your problem, whatever it may be, or a compromise between your points of view. Now, sometimes it may not be possible. There may be two viewpoints that are just simply too apart to reconcile. Now, and especially in ideological arguments or disagreements, it's important to be able to say, it's okay to be able to say, let's agree to disagree. I'm sure you've heard this expression many times. Basically, let's agree to disagree means that we disagree, and that's okay. We may not have the same opinion or viewpoint, but we respect each other's views, and we will not let it get in the way of our friendship, our relationship. Let's agree to disagree. We have our own viewpoints. We won't be able to change the others, so just leave it. It's an incredibly important skill to be able to agree to disagree, to be able to say, you know, you have your opinion and I have mine, and sometimes we won't be able to get along or agree, and that's okay. Every single human being on this planet has their own opinions, their own values, their own viewpoints, and it all comes from their backgrounds, their own unique backgrounds and experiences in life. We all aren't the same, and that's the beautiful thing about humanity, because every single person is unique and different and uniquely them. If we were all the same, then the world would be a boring place, and if we were all the same, democracy wouldn't even be possible. So our uniqueness makes us all different, and it makes us all special, and it's the beauty of life that we are all different. So thank you for watching this, and I hope that the skills that I have shared with you will help you in your lives and help you to be better people and better at managing disagreements and conflicts. Thank you.